Hi, my name is Charlie, and welcome back to another day of the Ehlers-Danlos Society's online social media prompts. They have a prompt for every single day of this month, which is Ehlers-Danlos and Hypermobility Awareness Month. So today's prompt is the conversation that changed my life. And obviously this is in relation to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And I had to think about this when I was like, did I have like some type of like life-changing conversation that led me here? And I think the biggest one was a conversation I had with a rheumatologist. I was explaining like my ankles and like my hands and how I feel like they're unstable and they bend at weird patterns. And this was before like TikTok was big, and I really didn't even know. And they started to kind of look, and they're like, well, yeah, that is hypermobility. And they were I'll never forget, they asked me to like move my hand in a certain way, but I moved it the other way, and they're like, the other way, but that's very impressive that you did that. And they jotted that down. And I was like what's hypermobility? Like hypermobility have to do with like literally much anything? And so I went back, I had like the checklist, we went over like the Baton score, and they kind of agreed that they don't really treat Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but recommended that I get on the list of genetics. And so I was on the list of genetics, which they never, ever, ever called my number. I don't even know what's happened with the genetics. I've long moved. I've called, I don't know what to do. I'm assuming I was never going to see that specific geneticist, but I was looking into different things, and I found Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I was going through everything, before I brought them back the paper, and I was like, that's weird. That's really weird. That's really weird stuff. And so then I was like watching stuff about it. And again, they recommended the geneticist, on a list for a geneticist. And so I joined different groups as I'm trying to like learn more. I'm trying to figure out if it's like this. My mom also has different like autoimmune issues, and so I'm trying to figure out that. I had like a positive rheumatoid factor at the time. Honestly, there was a lot stirring in the pot. I had no idea what was going on, but somebody within the group connected a lot of people to a geneticist that was taking clients, and I was able to have them evaluate with me, as well as send my genetic material off to be assessed and looked at for different Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but there's other ones that have a genetic marker. And so that's kind of what he was wanting to do, is look and make sure that there was no genetic marker. And so when everything came back and when all the reports came in and he wrote everything up based on that, I had none of the like other genes they look at for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but what I did have was a mutation on my SCN9A joint, which was explained to me that it can essentially cause other types of dysautonomias, which, as discussed, I also had, relating to the SCN9A gene, which was also used to help back up my diagnoses. And so it was at that point where he was discussing that and explained a lot of what he has done, and a lot of his medical research and things that he has done has been in relation to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome as related to the autonomic nervous system. That's kind of his specialty. So he diagnosed me with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That's my husband. The SCN9A mutation with, I think they said, primary erythromyalgia, issues within my autonomic nervous system. And he listed several other things that I should probably check out, or that a main attending physician should be aware of and be out on the lookout for. And so all of that was an incredibly helpful like jumping point. But truly and honestly, it's kind of remained stagnant since diagnosis. And while I've had some different changes in like medication and stuff, I think overall my symptoms are around about the same. We're continuing on every single day. And while it changed my life in a way that I was able to understand myself a little bit more, it didn't change my life in like a way where I was cured, or all of a sudden I had no pain, or I didn't dislocate or have issues in my shoulders or anything anymore. And I don't know if that day will ever come, and I don't know if that's even what I'm searching for anymore. So I'll wrap up today's little rants and conversation, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another day of Ehlers-Danlos Awareness Month. I really appreciate you guys hopping along for the ride, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.